Hey, I'm Elliot Slack with I.B.F.HotRods. This video is going to show you a little bit of how to install our 63 to 65 first generation Buick Riviera floor pans that we developed. These pans here are not your stock style pans. So this bead rolling and everything is not original to the car, obviously. We built these because we build custom cars and we wanted custom floor pans for Buick Riviera that our client had in here. And after review and investigating online, there is not a lot of options for these. And we decided that we can develop a better product and give you guys something that hopefully is going to be easy to go in and not cause you guys a lot of issues. So without further ado, we're in the middle of installing right now and just wanted to show you a little bit behind the scenes on how this stuff goes together. These pans, the front and back pans would go in first. This front section here underneath the driver's seat would go in second. And then your third piece is going to be this right on top. So if you look over here on this side, as I come around, you can actually see what we prepped. So we came in, obviously this entire floor was gone. So we cut everything out. As you can see, this comes down and it starts to roll exactly the same as back here. Right whenever it starts to roll, that's where we cut everything off at, and that's where we're designed everything to. So basically, after you take all these up off of here, hopefully hopefully your guys' Riviera was a little bit more prettier than this, but this had to be completely removed because of just the sheer amount of rust that was going on inside here. So what we did was we removed from the existing structure the cross members here, and after that we came in and we actually pre-drilled holes so we can spot weld these two first pans in. So your front pan will come in, your back pan will come in. I actually have pans here to demonstrate. So this is going to be similar to what you guys are going to get. We're going to show you exactly what it is here in a second, but these are already formed to this car itself. As you can see, if you're looking around the car itself, we actually had to do a lot of work down in the lower A-pillar and actually restructure all that stuff. So all this is built to this. So it's going to be off a little bit probably to the original, but it's nothing that you can't shape and do what you got to do. So this is basically what the pans are going to look like when they come in. This section in here, once we get to the other pans that you're going to actually get, this section in here is going to need to be hammered just a little bit to shape this form here. But once you get this cut out, you're going to be able to just fill this in, and you're going to pretty much stitch weld this entire piece in here however you want to do it. This is just how we're doing it. So pretty much anywhere where there was solid structure, we're going to weld completely, and anywhere where there was spot welds, we're going to come in and spot weld. So that's just your call, however you want to do it. I'm not telling you how to do it, just showing you our technique here. So this is going to go in here. You're going to come up from the bottom and spot weld all this. You don't have to. You can actually come in here and spot weld down through if you wanted to. But like I said, it's going to be on you on how you're going to do it. I'm not telling you this is the way it's supposed to be done. I'm just showing you what you could possibly do. Now, these should be cut to fit pretty damn close. As far as this goes, you might need to trim this a little bit more, or you might need to add depending on how much rust you guys are going to have going on, because if you're in the Rivieras, you know that you're going to be into some rust, especially if you're doing floor pans. Now, if you don't have these Klinkos, you can actually look on our product page, our recommended products page, and actually get these. These will help with the install. Just a couple of holes, and you can actually bring these together. So as you can see, once you get all this in here, this is hopefully, if you have everything cut out like we said, hopefully everything's going to fall right into place just like this. Now you can see in the back here, we're leaving everything a little bit long. So when it comes to the actual install, like this piece here, we cut and trimmed along here because this is a nice edge to be welding into. And as you can see over here, it's a little bit long. So you can cut all this out, a little bit of a tip, where you put your Klinkos at, you can actually cut everything out and then just leave that little bit of arm right there so you can attach it. You can come in and tack it a couple of times and then cut right over top, cut that piece completely off, and then you can just come in and continue to butt weld. Now, after you get those two pieces in, you're going to come in here and you're gonna prep these pieces. And these are just going to come right on top, just like this. It's going to fall right on top, and then this piece is going to come right on top of here. Now you're probably going to have to adjust accordingly, but as you're doing this stuff, you can pre-drill holes like this and Klinko everything in. These are prototypes that we had built. Basically, these are the originals that we had made for this vehicle. So they're a little beat up just because they were our trial and error pieces, basically. But we're going to have all the bends, all the bead rolls, everything's going to fit in here as nice as we can get it for you guys. Now, if you have any experience with floorboards, you know that they can be a pain in the ass. We're trying to make the ease of install as much as possible. We're not telling you it's going to be easy, but if you do cut where we're recommending, as long as you get close, everything should fall into place as far as where we're at with this. The only thing I could see it be any concern would be up there in the corners, especially like right in here where you got to beat this. Now, if you don't have like a nylon hammer to beat this out, just get everything Klinkoed into place and just hammer a little bit. Don't go to town. Like, you got to move the metal, but you should be able to form where you need to be forming at and everything of that nature. So just make sure you get good measurements from side to side if you're cutting the whole way up here. That way everything's level and everything's even from back to back. Now I'm going to show you exactly what we're dealing with as far as the pans that are going to come in your package. Just get this stuff out of here real quick. As you can see how easy this stuff is going to be to go in and out, especially if you're cutting it exactly where we're going to be at. It should just pretty much fall right into place is what we're shooting for. Now these are exactly the pans that you're going to end up getting. These pans are custom made to order. So once you first get these, as you can see, we're going to leave this part long. You might be a little bit long up here, but that's just if you end up taking this the whole way out up here, you can bend it over where the original pan was and weld right to it. What we did, we stitch weld right to the side. We did not go the whole way up and spot weld. We just stitched right to the side. That way we keep even better structure and create our own structure that way. We're just going to slick off the top of the welds, and then all this stuff's going to be ended up covered up. But from the bottom, you're going to get the custom look that everybody's looking for. Well, at least if you're hanging out with us, everybody's looking for it in our world. Like I said, these are not original to the car, so there is going to be some finagling that needs to be done, but you're going to be able to do a lot with these pans. Like I said, these are exactly what you're going to get. Just get this thing in here. Once you get this in here, as long as you're where you're at, this is how easy this stuff should fall into place. You pull it up, you get your cuts. As you can see, this is a little bit off. Now, this whole entire structure here was completely rebuilt. You can see I still got some pieces on the side of the car that we structured everything in here. That way, when we cut this whole front end apart to build this thing, we had a whole entire box system in here. But that's a side note. But you can see how you're going to have a gap right here. Now, we're not sure what the original Buick was like, but we tried to mimic it as much as possible. There's so much rust in here, so this is what we're dealing with. But you should be able to hammer this out a little bit, as you can see over there. That's going to be closer to your stock piece over there. So everything should just fall right into place. Like I said, this is all what's going to be coming in the package. So these are all going to be bent up and shaped exactly where you guys need it to be. So As you can see, everything should just literally fall right into place. So that's what you guys are going to get whenever you guys purchase the I.B.F. Hot Rod package. So all these are available. These are a set, front and the back. You can buy separately. If you're going to go custom, I recommend buying the whole package. That way, when you guys get in your car, if you guys are going to car shows and you really want to take your Riviera to the next level, this is where it's at. So as you can see, if you want to take a look up underneath the car real quick, you can see what kind of custom look you're going to get here. Just remember that these pans are just sitting in there, so as far as level goes and everything, it's not going to be exactly perfect, but we're trying to make it easy on you guys, and we notice there's a demand for these, and we're hoping that you guys are going to find that our product is far superior to anything else out there on the market. So hopefully this was a pretty good informative video to let you guys see how this is going down. And like, follow, subscribe, and purchase right there on the website, I.B.F.HotRods.com. Now, if you guys want to take everything a step further, before I get out of here, when you're in here and you're doing the cross members, as you can see right here, these cross members have been treated, cleaned up, wire wheeled, acid treated. This is a two-step process. It's a reformer sealer in here, and then right here on the edges is your weld-through primer. So I recommend whenever you guys are going to do this, where you're going to be welding through, you're going to end up putting holes right here as far as spot welds go. You'll spot weld everything straight down to here, and when you get your holes out of here, do the same thing underneath here. That way everything is nice and prepped, and you're not going to have any issue for as long as you should live, as long as you're doing everything right. The only other thing I could think of saying is you're going to, as far as the welds go, just a quick little thing on the welds, you're going to end up welding this all together. You're going to cut this out and weld right here. You can see where we're cutting everything out at. As long as you are doing it where these are, you should be fine. Everything should go together with ease, for as much ease as a floor pan can be. So we clink coat everything. To recap, we clink coat everything to here. Afterwards, you can come in and you can draw this out. You can either cut it out of this or cut it out of this. We figured the more new metal, the better. And just stitch weld everything together the whole way across here, the whole way back here. You can do it across the side, and then you're going to spot weld here. Now this area here, your originals, if you guys are staying original, you're going to have an actual a bracket system that has a weld nut in it. You're going to have one here, you're going to have one here, you're going to have two over here. That's where your original seat's going to go in. So you should be able to, more than likely, if this is completely rusted out, you're going to end up having to replace that. We're not using those because we're putting different seats in, just in case somebody there was asking what's going on with this. You're going to be able to just put that right over top of those pieces and go to town with it. All right. We're going to go and show you guys kind of a close-up of how this is cut out. So as you can see, these certain areas here, when you cut this stuff, you're going to try to make this as flat as you possibly can as far as straight goes, okay? The other side that we did, we came in, we're going to have to trim this up. You see how this comes down just a little bit right here? If we just keep coming almost flat straight to here and then bring that across, everything's going to fall into place. We cut, you got a roll that comes in, this whole thing has a roll off the original. So we cut up just above the roll on everything. Now, on the ones that we installed, we actually cut up into here and followed this line right up underneath here. As I was saying earlier, if you cut out right here, just a little notch wherever you put the clinkos at, if you notch that and you cut everything else out, here, I'll just draw a picture and show you real quick. So if you're running like this and you're cutting, if you just notch this like this and cut this out and keep going and do the same thing down here, you're going to end up being able to clinko this thing in without it falling completely through, and you'll be able to push wherever it's not attached at, obviously. You'll be able to push this in and you'll be able to butt weld a couple of spots. Then you can take these out, and then you can bring your cutoff wheel and just come straight across right here, right above your existing metal, and you'll end up cutting this right off, and you'll just continue welding through. As you can see, you're going to come across here. I came across here because if this is one of the worst Rivieras I've ever seen. So right in here, this still should be good metal. If not, you're going to have to replace this, and it's going to be all on you because we don't make that stuff. But we come same thing with this. We come right along where it rolls, right above the roll. Comes right into here. We had to cut as far up as we could because of all the rust. So you might just come to here and come across. I'm not sure how yours is going to be. But everything in here was cut out as far as the spot welds. You can get on our product page, and we have a spot weld bit that we can actually use to get all this stuff out. Same thing with this. It's how we did this. Now, probably one of the most important parts of the install, these ears come up just a little bit farther. So this is kind of like the original spot where the ear was. These come up just a little bit, like I'm saying. The best thing that you could probably do is trim these out, because if not, you're going to rock a little bit with the floor pans. I wasn't going to develop all this area into that whenever all you got to do is just trim this out. So just trim this ear out a little bit. You could leave the ear there, just knock it the hell out of the way if you wanted to, but we decided to trim it out. And once you trim these areas out right here, right here, right here, and up front here, I just took a little bit off the ear, and it will allow those angles to come straight up in here and sit right where they're supposed to be. So the best thing to do with this is get a buddy, have him push down when you're spot welding from underneath. So that's just a little bit of information there. If you call me, I'll be able to run you through it. But this video is going to break down everything that you need to do. And just make sure you prep the metal on the backside, because it's going to make your butt welds a hell of a lot easier to weld in through. So you're not introducing metal or mud and dirt and junk in your welds. And best of luck with the install. And until next time, I hope you guys enjoy the floor pans. Let us know what you think. If you have any questions, reach out, info@IBFHotRods.com, or you can call the number on the website. You'll be able to talk to one of us here if you have any questions with the install. But this video should pretty much give you guys everything you need to know. Until next time, I'm Elliot Slack with I.B.F.HotRods, and we'll talk to you soon.